All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division where Gervonta Davis has caused somebody some real major problems, and also word on the street, a certain somebody else is acting like they may duck up out of this fight. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and we are going to be talking about the 135-pound division in this video where, man, wow, Gervonta Davis has done some major damage. I hope he actually gets over this damage to Hector Garcia. And also, word is on the street that a certain another Mr. Garcia has not signed this deal yet and may not sign this deal. And I'm telling you, I told you so, but let's talk about it. But before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are new to the channel, or if you're a longtime subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a lot. Greatly, greatly appreciate you guys always coming by and checking out the videos, also supporting in the live streams that we do Monday through Friday, Monday through Monday around 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. But let's get into this, man. Word is that Gervonta Davis, who is the WBA regular champion, who fought Hector Garcia, on, I do believe, the 7th of January. It is now the 23rd of January. And unfortunately for Hector Garcia, he's still seeing stars. Over 2 weeks after, little more than 2 weeks after his fight with Gervonta Davis. Now, if you recall, the fight was, I do believe, stopped going into the 9th round after Gervonta Davis had kind of picked up the pace on Hector Garcia and hit him with a shot to his, I do believe it was his left eye. And Hector Garcia goes to the corner, kind of wobbles to the corner, and says basically to his corner, like, I don't know what's going on. Did I get knocked out? And then he says, look, I couldn't see out of my left eye. And they're asking him if he wants to continue. Him and his corner say no, they don't want to continue. And the fight is called off. And a lot of people had reacted to that as if, Hector Garcia had quit. And I thought that was, very unfair to him. And this is what happens in a lot of fights, not just with Gervonta Davis, but with other people as well, where when you're going into the fight, people say, okay, well, this guy can get exposed by this guy. But when the fight winds up coming out and the favorite winds up beating the guy who was not favored, all of a sudden they turn into tin cans and jokes. If a guy gets knocked down like Hector did, or he doesn't get out, he quit. But the fact that he this much long after the fight is still complaining about having blurry vision or seeing stars out of his eye that much longer, than Gervonta Davis did some damage with that shot. And it was probably best that he got out of the ring, because if he would have continued to fight with Gervonta Davis in that regard, like that, in that situation, he very, very well could have been hurt, if he's not hurt for real now. Now, there's other scenarios where, a fight that took place last April that we saw the same thing, or something like that. Anyway, not much more brutal in the Errol Spence Jr. versus Yordenis Ugas fight, where Yordenis Ugas just kept coming out, even though his eye kept closing, getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, to the point where he literally was fighting Errol Spence Jr. And that there was very little chance that he could actually see what was coming from Errol Spence. And he leaves, and he winds up being in a situation where his eyes bleeding days later, where he has a broken orbital bone, and he has to take off a lot of time before he gets back in that ring. So in that particular situation, it was like Yordenis Ugas was almost, too brave for his own good. But the same thing, like I described, what's happening to Hector Garcia happened to Yordenis Ugas as well. We're going into the fight. A lot of people are like, well, I don't know, man. This guy's, specifically, other people's camps are like, man, this guy's a real fighter. We don't know what Errol's going to do. How's Errol going to handle this, right? But then when Errol, does what he does, then after the fight and the guy can't continue, then all of a sudden he's a guy that can't move. He was just standing there. All kind of excuses for why Errol Spence Jr. was able to perform in the way that he performed. And very, very unfair, in my opinion, to Yordenis Ugas himself, who really did put up a very, very good fight. However, he just got his body broken down, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, though, I certainly hope that Hector Garcia heals all the way. He is, my understanding, still the WBA super champion at 130 pounds. So, he still has that, belt to defend. So hopefully he's not out for too long, right? And now talking about what is going to be next for Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is supposed to be fighting Ryan Garcia. As you know, Oscar De La Hoya jumped out there and, said something about the contract not being signed. Now, Oscar De La Hoya is jumping out there again, saying something crazy to Gervonta Davis about how he's basically, I don't think he used the word slave to the PBC, but how they're going to be taking advantage of him if you're not careful, and he'll never be a legend. Oscar De La Hoya doing a lot of wiggling and a lot of talk, a lot of crazy talk, which to me sounds like he may be, doing what I suspected that he would do, which is not make that fight. Now, he did take a picture with Ryan Garcia where he said, hey, we got the contract. The devil's in the details, right? But what he said was that he saw the contract, that he had the contract, not that he signed the contract. And also, when you say the devil is in the details, what is that supposed to mean? Like you're going to go in there, get into the details, read the details, and you're going to find the devil in the details, and you're not going to take the fight. I'm telling you, I do not believe that if this fight between the two of those guys do not happen, I do not believe that it's going to be Ryan Garcia. I do believe, as I've said, and I've continued to say, it is going to be Oscar De La Hoya that pulls out of that, finds some way to pull out of that and stop that, because Gervonta Davis is most definitely favored to win against Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia is one of the very few marketable fighters that Golden Boy Promotions has. If Ryan Garcia loses, and if he loses by knockout or gets beat badly by Gervonta Davis, that affects the value of Golden Boy Promotions. And I don't think Oscar De La Hoya wants that, which is why you really don't see any of his other fighters fighting anybody like Jaime Munguia, and even the route that Virgil Ortiz is taken to get a championship belt by petitioning to become the WBA regular champion to fight Stanionis, instead of staying in the rankings to either become, the WBO champ, the WBO mandatory for Errol Spence, for Terrence Crawford, or the WBA mandatory for Errol Spence. He goes the route of being a secondary guy for the WBA belt, right? And who knows whether or not he's going to actually turn around and fight Errol Spence Jr., even if Errol Spence Jr. is in that weight class. So, I just don't see Oscar De La Hoya doing that with Ryan Garcia. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Anyway, so you let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you for listening and supporting the channel. And with that, I'm out. Peace.